We are getting some news from the city of Minneapolis and from Fox's Bill Malugin. Let's start with the city. They say, we are aware of reports of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in North Minneapolis. We're working to confirm additional details. There have been reports of another ICE-involved shooting. Fox's Bill Malugin with a little more context. I'm told by 4 law enforcement sources there has been another ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis tonight. I'm told ICE was making contact with a target who then allegedly assaulted an officer with a shovel or swung a shovel. Shots were fired, and the suspect ran back to a house. No info yet on if anyone was actually shot, just that shots were fired. Very preliminary information, more as we get it. He continues, I'm now told that a suspect, believed to be Venezuelan, was indeed shot, but is okay, stable, and is now in custody. So,
does anybody else feel disgraced by their fellow American? Is anybody else confused as to why we can go into a foreign nation, Venezuela in fact, and take their leader late at night, bring them back to America to prosecute them, but we can't do a thing about Tim Walz right here in America? This is pathetic leadership. A very, very, very large armed presence is the only way that this is going to end. That presence must be peaceful, as they have been. They have been peaceful. They're just trying to do their job. But they have to defend themselves, because that's actually part of their training, the real training, not the Ice Watch fake warrior training. This is, everybody's got to be sick of this. Everybody. Who are the agitators at night? Because this is probably a different group. Look at the demographic. They appear to be American, a lot of them.
These live images are from the scene of where this took place, and it does in fact appear that there's protesters. I just saw a firework. Well, I've got 4 different vantage points of this area, by the way. You know what, let's pull up the audio on this one. Looks like things are getting a little more active on this camera. Unclear to me if this is in the exact area or how close this protest is to the area where that shooting or that shots fired incident took place. Clearly, this group of protesters advancing forward, screaming F ICE, and as we hear of another shooting taking place in the Twin Cities, this is certainly going to serve potentially another firework going off. Governor Tim Walz, earlier this evening, about an hour and a half ago, making an address to Minnesotans. He said he had 4 messages for Minnesotans amid these tense times. The governor saying President Trump wants this chaos and confusion on the streets. And he also said protesters need to be peaceful. It did appear to me like they were throwing some snow at those officers. And that's something that we've been seeing for days now as these demonstrations continue in Minneapolis. In some cases, ICE has been thrown at immigration officials. Another firework going off. Sometimes the police will throw flashbangs, by the way, in an effort to disperse unlawful assemblies. Okay, looks like some of those, and that might have been a flashbang right there, actually. We saw some of those demonstrators running away. And so seeing right now a lot of what we've been seeing in recent days, these protesters telling ICE to get out of their city. Mayor Jacob Fry has told them to get out of their city. Governor Walz today telling, oh yeah, it's curious to me. I'm curious if...
You okay? Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like, I'll turn the audio down. It sounds like the television crew that's filming this might have been exposed to the elements there, unsure what exactly that smoke is made of. But certainly a crowd dispersal tactic we just saw on live television. Seems like things are cooling down for a moment on this camera. Let's move back to our other vantage point. This is the scene where that other officer-involved shooting took place earlier this evening. And again, I'll read you what Bill Melugin has. So far, Melugin says that he's told by 4 law enforcement sources that there's been another ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis tonight. He's told that ICE was making contact with a target who then allegedly assaulted an officer with a shovel or swung a shovel. Shots were fired, and then the suspect ran back to a house. Okay, it looks like this camera's running away. I'm not exactly sure what they're running from or what they're running toward, if anything. Putting the camera down, possibly. There is no audio coming through on this camera, just to be clear. Okay, now we got some.
Close your windows! Towels under the doors! Tear gas. Yep.
Sounds like tear gas.
Right here on this corner!
So yeah, that's going to make everybody run away as quickly as possible. A number of our crews have been exposed to the tear gas in recent days.
Emily!
It looks like a crowd is worried. But they set the ball one shot.
Not uncommon, you see protesters carrying milk with them for these moments. Looks like one of those officers feeling some sting in the eyes after that tear gas was deployed.
If you saw the news, but Fox News polls can't be trusted. So now, Newsmax is conducting its own poll on President Trump's job performance. It takes just a minute to vote, so let us know if you think President Trump is doing a good job. We at Newsmax want to know your opinion. Again, the QR code's there, as well as the website. Make your voice heard and vote today. A brand new hour of National Report kicks off right now.
Citizen, former. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
Agent's life was endangered and that he fired in self-defense. Meanwhile, tensions are flaring.
Bodily injury or
Clashes outside a federal building in Minneapolis.
From Sky 5 this afternoon, when the crowd was a few thousand strong, according to witnesses and participants.
I don't want the National Guard equipment.
Thought that anybody, any human would ever do.
Yeah, I don't know who said that to you, but thank God you have a heart.
Yeah, I have a heart such that after watching this, I couldn't stop crying for about 3 hours. It was so horrific. And I couldn't sleep for almost a week. It's like Q said, those who know can't sleep. I still don't sleep well sometimes due to this. And so I'll go into this, but I want people to know if you have children in the room, you might think about seriously taking them out for this part. Use your own discretion. If you don't think you can listen to this, don't. I will go into this in graphic detail. It's very disturbing what I saw. There's 2 different frazzled rip videos that I saw, both simultaneously back to back. And this is what was Wiener Weinstein's. I think it was a Wiener. He is one. I mean, that's all he is. He's just a male member that has no compassion or heart or morality at all. He's just a wiener. And so it was on his laptop, and the policemen that saw it were throwing up and retching and crying, and a lot of them just couldn't live with it. They actually saw way more than I saw, and mine was bad enough. A lot of them, I don't know if they actually committed suicide or they were suicided, but a lot of the police that saw this aren't alive anymore, a good majority of them.
Yeah.
That being said, so we'll go into it. What the purpose of this is twofold: to bring up a demonic through the blood of the child. It's a witchcraft. The child's in the pentagram circle symbol thing. They're doing the incantation, and then they start torturing this young person that is, in one case, chained to a tree, and in the other case, to a bed. And the one with the bed had a doctor in attendance. The one with the tree, which was a 10-year-old girl chained to a tree, was out in a forest area. It looked like an area I'm somewhat familiar. It looked like an area I know on the East Coast somewhere. in the big forest like you see in the Blair Witch Project with those endless forests that go, if you don't have a compass and know how to orienteer, you get lost as heck. And so it's some big forested area. It's not trees like on the West Coast. It's more eastern where you see more deciduous trees and less pine. And so she's chained to a small tree, this 10-year-old girl, and Uma Abedin and Hillary Rodham Clinton take this girl, and they start doing the fire and the symbol, and then they start cutting her up. And in the process of this, they cut her fate on both of them. The one with the bed, the doctor does it, but they do it really crudely. The doctor does it surgically, but they cut her face off. And then Hillary wears it dancing around the girl, laughing and giggling, and they're all laughing, and they take the blood and cover themselves. They're naked and they cover themselves in the blood. Excuse me, it's getting me a little woozy. And they laugh and dance around her, and she's screaming, "Why are you doing this to me?" And finally, she's just begging for them, "Please just kill me." And then once they have the child sufficiently terrorized, which they did, in this case, this child had a lot of fortitude. So to get her, that wasn't enough. To get her really terrified, like they do in seppuku in Japanese martial arts, harakiri is the term they used in World War II. They cut her with a Z across her stomach and pulled out her intestines around their necks. And then, excuse me, I got to take a drink of water.
I mean, it's just,
it's nauseating, sorry.
Yeah.
They then, once she was sufficiently terrified and still alive, they reach up with looks like some kind of forceps, kind of bent, very slender at the end, into the nose and up into jamming it up into the brain. They knew how to do this, so they didn't kill the girl. They pulled her pineal out through her nose. And they each one ate half of it. I think Hillary did it and offered it to Uma, and she bit half of it, and then the walnut, as they call it. And Hillary ate the other part, and then the blood's coming out the nose.
Sick. Guys, got to get out of that. Take the good. Get out of that church. At least stop funding it. They are wicked. And this is their ideology that we're seeing in America today that has been indoctrinated into these Nepo babies and college students and lost, confused, New Age youth. It is this Catholic social teaching. Pope John Paul II, right? Despite facing opposition from the Vatican, particularly under Pope John Paul II, many tenets of liberation theology have been integrated into Catholic social teaching, especially under Pope Francis. The movement has also inspired various forms of liberation theology, including feminist theology, and that's what we were seeing back in the 60s, and Black theology. Again, we were seeing that back in the 60s, which address specific social injustices faced by women and racial minorities. So it's bullshit. There are no races, so how can there be racial minorities? Give me a break. In summary, liberation theology represents a significant theological approach that seeks to align Catholicism with the struggle of social injustice. It is a bad combination, you guys. Marxism and Catholicism. What would that baby look like? Oh, I want to know. Oh, she's And we're seeing the same tactic, these same signs across the nation.
Protesters today, including several veterans, gathered outside Broadview's ICE processing facility to decry the crowd control tactics.
What is that on his hat?